Master Grade Gundam version 3.0. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs Gundam Reviews. .net, here to wrap up my look at the Master Grade Granddaddy Gundam. This is the version 3.0. What's changed, good and bad? Well, let's get right to it, starting with the negatives. Little things first, like how about the price? 4,500 yen, the price of the Gundam has been going up. Did they need a bigger box? Traditionally, it's always been in the smaller one there. More plastic, I suppose, is going to be accounting for that. But at the same time, the manual itself, when you go inside, real grades, they've got lots of colors in there. Or at least some, but this one, outside of the splash pages, which do look fantastic, there's no extras, and things like not putting this in color just come across as being cheap, when this should be the new flagship of the Master Grade line. But at the beginning too, I always build my weapons first, and this was just so incredibly lackluster. I've already built them for the 2.0, building it exactly the same, but just throwing out a few parts for that. And the same applied to the core fighter there. It looked so exciting to have that massive and very interesting looking A and B plates there. But at the same time, when you're putting together the same thing with the same functionality, it seems like a retread, and retreads could be numbered 2.5 as opposed to going 3.0. And the seals for some are going to go down as a positive or a negative, but for me, whenever you're putting these on the elbows and bending them all over the place, they never end up working out over time, so I tried to go with a marker, which just did okay. Same thing for the knees in some cases, but the fact that they're not giving you eye options just comes across as cheap, as if Bandai is really forcing you to get that LED unit if you want his eyes to look good. So what about for the body itself? Well, yes, it's posable, but at the same time, I'm not fully convinced of some of the things about this. It is going to come across as being a little bit shaky, a little bit flimsy feeling. Not as bad as the real grade by far, but even for something scaled up this size, you'd think that it would just be a little bit more solid, and solid is not a word that I'd use to describe it, although it is definitely going to be posable, as you're seeing right here. Sometimes these waist skirts are a little bit finicky. That part there, which I know plays into the anime, is still going to be popping out. I've had these parts on the waist skirts go flipping off a lot. Not too impressed with the ransel there. The shield, like I said, can be problematic. The fact that it's going to be a little bit too slidey there, and that elbow lock underneath is going to be okay, but nothing to write home about in terms of convincing you that it's going to be good. The bazooka itself, well, that's always going to be problematic for anything. This one does a better job than most, though, but it's still, you're going to be limited in the number of poses that you can be pulling off. And something that I just had to laugh again about the manual. If you are a fan of manga coding and paragraphs about it, well, you're going to be getting lots of them. Personally, I don't think they look all that great. Unless you want to go paint them up, I'm sure you could really make them spectacular. But for me, I really do like the old ones because it's going to be showing off the insides. But let's get to the elephant in the room. The biggest issue of this guy for a lot of people, I think, is just going to be, if you've already built the real grade, that they've just scaled him up. Yes, the inner frame is going to be different, but his looks, you're not going to be getting anything particularly new about this guy. In terms of looks and features, it's something that we've already built for 2,500 yen 3 years ago. And when they're stepping up and not all this stuff is new, and it's something we've already seen in style and in substance in many of these cases, for some people, I think this may not be new enough to justify the big 3.0 label. But how about the positives? Well, I've got to say that my thinking through this kit sort of went from the oversized box, maybe a little pricey, the weapons incredibly boring, a real grade rehash, until I actually started putting the body together. And then right away, just all of my misgivings just disappeared. It's an absolute treat to build. Yeah, you built the real grade. Yeah, you may have built 6 different master grades of this guy before, but this one is going to be a totally new experience. The inner frame is very interesting the way they put it all together, and I cannot say enough about the 3 colors there, between the brown and the gray and the white, the way they intermix, the way they slide, the way that they're interspersed with a few pieces making up a lot of differentiation. I'm just a massive fan of the way this kit looks. And when you put it all together and you combine it with solid posability, and I just think the proportions for this just could not have been any cooler. The V-fin is the perfect size. The head just looks fantastic. It's going to be easy to put in that LED when you've got it. You already saw the way that he can reach back, grab the beam saber, no problem. The 2.0 weapons, despite some of their problems, well, they were used again because they looked good the first time and they worked well. Lots of play features, the way you can connect everything everywhere, put things on the backpack, and just the way that you're even going to have that flip down part on the back, as it Lazy Susan's sort of in the wrong direction, and you can put the BR, you can put the Hyper Beam on there. Everything looks good, and yeah, you want to go talk about these? Sure, I don't think they're exciting, but they go to the trouble of giving you 2 of them. So if you don't like them, don't use them. Just put on the ones that you want. But at the end of the day, the build itself was a treat. The looks are fantastic. This guy now, for me, absolutely epitomized the way Gundam is in my imagination, thanks in no small part to no small part at all, thanks into the massive influence of the one-to-one Gundam. So you can totally guess that for a verdict, it's going to be overwhelmingly positive for me, and that's just because, you know, when I built the 2.0, I thought that was just probably the greatest thing since sliced bread. I really liked the cool, the cartoony, even the cheesiness of some of the parts of its proportions. The posability, absolutely incredible. I wondered if they could top it. But when you see the one-to-one Gundam, and now you get to see it brought home in something that, while not perfect in terms of stability, is still going to be a lot less flimsy and a lot less problematic than the real grade. Yes, it costs more, but you're getting a lot more plastic and a lot more fun, I think, putting it all together. It's made to be in an 18-centimeter form, and I think that by bringing home now what is the iconic version of the Gundam in Master Grade form, despite some of the fact that it's repeats, they were pretty good, but I think it justifies the 3.0 tag. And I am a huge fan of this, and I never thought that the 2.0 would be replaced as my favorite Gundam, but Bandai has done the job. The 3.0, full marks for me. So what about the future? Well, Jim 3.0 you'd think would be in the works. Gun Cannon down there should be getting a 2.0 with a compatible core fighter finally. But of course, we're going to enter down to this path, and after we got the real grades, Charzaku 2 and the green one, you know we're getting those in Master Grade 2. But ultimately, I think that this new style of putting the three colors in can justify taking pretty much any Gundam and reissuing them. Who doesn't want a GP01 with 2 shades of gray? Well, I'd pick it up just for that feature alone, and the fact that I like this scale so much better than real grade is just going to make it worth the purchase, even if you did buy the original Master Grade 5-10 years ago. I think that this just opens up a whole new line for Bandai to go across. It makes them look more realistic, makes them look better out of the box, and so for lazy modelers like me, build this guy a little bit of lining, a little bit of top coat if you want to go that far, and he is going to look spectacular thanks to the proportions and all the engineering and effort that Bandai put into this. The new cycle has begun, but really this could revolutionize the way we buy Master Grades, and we could be buying the same kits with a couple extra color variations for a decade or more to come. But of course, that's just me. I would love to hear your opinions, of course, about the videos themselves and my opinions in there. But what about yours? Lots of people have had a chance to put this all already together. How does it stack up compared to the RG, compared to the 2.0, compared to the many other MGs we've had in the past? What do you think we're going to see going forward in terms of other kits along these same lines? And is it a nice addition? I'd say it really is to the MG Ale Strike. And when you've got the new Gundam back there, I will be buying new kits just by adding another shade of gray, Bandai. You've got my money. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Stick around, and please let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See ya. You know what this kind of shelf display is just screaming out for more of, though? More DJ.